A lot of people have no idea where their water comes from. They just turn a tap on and there's water.
We're very conscious that this is our only water supply.
The first thing you think about in the morning is, right, where are we going to get water from?
Water is everything. We need water to drink.
In Scotland, we have a lot of water, but it's not really in the right places at the right time when we need it.
I live in the Galloway Forest with my husband. Moved here about 8 years ago because of the land around us, the ruralness of the place, and the solitude it provides us. Our private water supply comes from surface water, from burns or small streams which go into a collection tank. We are responsible for looking after the tank and the quality of the water. And because we're such a distance from the nearest main supply, we would never get on main supply. We moved in and we started to notice slugs and bits of moss and things in the water. So we put a large particle filter. We've had a couple of summers which have been quite dry. We are more water conscious then about flushing the toilet, showering less frequently, I suppose. For our animals, we do also have a house of gutters to collect water in case of emergency.
In 2021, South Ayrshire experienced the worst drought in living memory. We had over 90 supplies out of water for some up to several months. I work for South Ayrshire Council. My role as an enforcement officer is supporting the people who are on private water supply. We're always thinking of different ways that we could maybe look at sustainability. For example, extra tanks, extra storage, looking at alternative places you may abstract water from if the water was low due to drought conditions. Emergency bottled water is then given out to the local authorities, who then send it out to the people in the rural areas that need it.
Rural houses such as this are very vulnerable to any land use change, so we protect our water supply as much as possible.
What makes me feel strongly is I was born into a farming community and I was brought up in private water supplies myself, so I know exactly what it feels like to be completely dependent on your own water for your survival.
SEPA are the Scottish Environment Protection Agency. We work with the Scottish Government, Scottish Water and other organisations linked to water to help protect Scotland's water environment and ensure it continues to be safe, healthy and sustainable. I started as a hydrologist in SEPA in 2018, and this was an exceptionally dry summer. We saw major impacts on farmers and agriculture, whisky distilleries and also hydropower.
We live in lovely Aberdeenshire and we used to get our water from a well which was shared with our neighbours. In 2018 there was a drought. We ran out of water. We obviously had trouble just basically trying to survive. The first thing you think about in the morning is, right, where are we going to get water from? Have we got enough water to flush the loo? Have we emptied the water out of the bath from a shower? Have we scooped it up? What can we do to save water? Oh, don't throw that water away. We might be able to use it for this. And it felt incredibly medieval, I would say. It didn't really feel like the modern world. It was a lot of work, going out buying water, going to people's houses, filling up bottles from their mains water taps. We'd have to go to the nearest laundrette, which is 16 miles away. A problem with growing vegetables, of course, we had to actually stop watering things and they basically just had to be left to die. And it really does weigh you down. So it'd be about 2020. It was a huge storm. A lot of trees came down, so we lost power for 7 days. If you're on a private water supply, there's a pump involved. And so if you haven't got electricity, you can't have any water. We literally had nothing to drink. So it was just a calamity. Because there was no internet, no mobile phone, there's no way you could just ring people up, you couldn't just check on Facebook, who's got water, who hasn't. You'd end up sort of driving around thinking, oh, where can I get water from? None in the shops, everybody bought it. So by chance I drove through the local town and saw a group of people, pulled up and discovered that there was free water in bottles.
Summers such as 2018 are projected to become more frequent every other year in the future. We're strongly encouraging people to build resilience and water resilience into their businesses and also provide advice on how to do that.
So when we started to get the tank up the hill filled by the council, it was a huge relief. We decided that that wasn't sustainable. So we had to spend a 5-figure sum to get the borehole done ourselves.
Education is a key factor in this for the people, the contractors, and for the general public to realise what private water supply is, where private water supplies come from, and how serious the situation could be should that water stop.
Everyone has a role to play in managing our water environment. Members of the public can take action to reduce their water use. And that's what we're working with the Scottish Government, is trying to incorporate, for example, climate change projections into how much water is available for people to take from rivers based on the climate change scenario rather than what's currently in the river. By following best practice and working together, the available water resource can be prolonged to avoid the need for any kind of restrictions on water.
We really need to be thinking about what happens next with climate change and what happens to private water supplies in the future. Is there another way forward?